Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's a cool morning here in January. It's the 23rd, and what I'm going to be doing today is finally getting these strawberries moved and into their bed. As you can see, of course, we had some updates on the strawberries and how they were progressing, but I have this whole row of strawberries here, and most of them's in pots. I've already dug up just a few. You can see even the smaller ones, they're rooting out their pots into the ground. They're good and sturdy. What I'll do is I'll take and load all these up and move them down to where they're going to be in their permanent bed. Okay, when you're going to transplant these, now some of these were in the ground, they weren't in pots. What you want to do is you want to get rid of these old dead leaves. You can see how these have spots on them. You want to get rid of all this material. You don't want it back in there. This is different disease. You want to get the diseased leaves off the plant. And it doesn't matter if you have to cut them all off. Now, this looks pretty good now. You can actually see, even though it's towards the middle end of January, you can see these are already starting to bloom. It's today it's like 54 degrees, and now it's possible there might be a frost and they might not, but there's not a lot of pollinators around, so we don't know if we'll get very many strawberries off it. But right now we're just concentrating on moving them. We know they'll bear later. But all of these we picked up. A few of them have that spots on the leaves like that. We're going to get rid of them. And any leaves that are discoloring on the plant, we're going to get rid of them too. We're just going to trim these up. And like I say, don't worry even if you got to take just about all of them off, because there's quite a few of these that have that condition of spotting on them, and we don't want to leave any of that. We don't care if we got to take every leaf off it. We're going to get rid of that problem from the start. Now, you can, if you want, you can cut the roots back some. Whenever you get these, when you order them, they're usually bare root, and you're lucky you even have any leaves. So that's why I say if you have to cut them all, as long as you don't cut the crown off, so it can continue to grow. Now, when you get ready to plant these, you also want to plant the crown. You want it at surface level, just barely above. You don't want to end it with it below and start having a rotting problem from that. Okay, when you're propagating these from the original strawberries like I do, there's some things you want to do whenever you start taking these out. Now you can see these roots are all starting to get root bound here. Go ahead, and I just use one of the same staples that I use whenever I'm doing this. Now if you tear up some roots, don't worry about it, but watch here, because if you look close, you can see that this has actually made another shoot off of it. And I'm going to clip this loose. And what I'm going to do is, and this is mighty small, but I'm going to work this one out, try to preserve as much of its roots, being it's smaller. I don't worry so much if I damage some of the other roots. Now this is small, but this will grow into a plant. You put this in, get its roots started, and we'll make this another plant. But make sure you get these roots, if they're root bound from the pot, make sure you spread them out. If you damage some, don't worry about it. If you knock a lot of the dirt off of it, don't worry about it. But make sure that you don't plant it deeper than the crown, where the crown is coming up, because then you're going to end up with some rot problems. Got them all in the ground. We ended up with 161 plants. Now those that have been following my channel on my strawberry here, now these are Evians, and I had purchased 50 of them. Well, I had lost all but actually the count was 11, and from these 11 I turned it into 161. Now I'd put all the 11 plus a couple extras in here so that I knew where my old ones were and what my plans are. I've got part of a row that's not finished out. I'm going to actually let these ones put on runners when they start, and some of them already do have runners, but they're still producing. Like this one is flowering, but it has a runner out. I'll let these runners run out. I'll go ahead and take these and move them to complete my other row. But it looks like, when I got to looking, these here, they've lost their petals, and I'm gonna see they might actually set strawberries, but it's so cold right now. Not that it's freezing cold, but it's cold enough here. If we get a frost, which that's gonna take and set them back, and they'll have to start again. But what I've done, I've set all these in here, and I've taken and I've fertilized them with a little mix of chicken litter, a little calcium, some ag lime, so to keep my pH more balanced. And I put in some azomite so that they'll have all the mineral needs in here, and we'll see how they do. But all these should root in good, and you can kind of follow them as they go along as we head towards spring. Now if you're planting strawberries, what I want you to be aware of, and like I showed you, as far as whenever you take and have them root bound in a container, which I left mine in for a long time intentionally. But all you have to do is take and work those roots out. Don't worry if you destroy some of them. Any of you that have strawberries that's actually started them from bare roots, you can see what they look like anyway. So you're not going to harm them. Put them in. Make sure you water them in good. Kind of firm around them and water them in good, so the dirt will settle and the roots won't be having air pockets all up under there. You want them to have some air, but you don't want them to have big air pockets so they can't get the moisture. If you're planning on growing strawberries, let us know. Let us know how your strawberries are doing in the comments. If you have any questions about growing strawberries, we'll ask those questions in the comments. And as always, if you want to see more of my videos, just hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified. Happy gardening.